by Becky Lynch.
That ring awareness made all the difference.
Go. Oh my goodness, dumb Judgment Day retained. McIntyre's going to WrestleMania. Headbutt by Nia, trying to create space again.
I am so impressed with the confidence of Nia Jax.
Nia Jax is going to go up to the, she's going up to the top rope.
Rhea's got new tricks, so does Nia.
Rhea Ripley going to meet her there.
No way.
Ring-shattering superplex. Your attention to Nia. Can Rhea pull it off? Ring time. Rhea Ripley retains the...
Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to the Wrestling Fans Insight Sunday Takedown. I'm your host, John Hoppe, along with my brother, Carlos. How you doing?
Good. Does that sound convincing? Better than I was yesterday. My headline's never again, so I want to be like, I want to be a WWE fan and be like, respect our friends, you know, who stay up, you know, like our friend Sarah, who stays up till like 5 a.m. every time she watches wrestling. And I thought, oh, I'll do it. And so I stayed up to watch Elimination Chamber, and I was regretting it all day yesterday. I was all tired. I mean, I just pretty much spent my whole day off just wanting to get more sleep, but I couldn't. So I didn't even get to go to the gym or anything yesterday because I was just paying for it. I was dragging ass all day. But at the same time, it's fun to be a fan sometimes, but at the same time, I would never do that again because it was a predictable card anyway. So I could have just watched it later on and not missed anything.
I almost thought you were going to give us the typical William response, who is absent this week. So thank you for not doing that. So yeah, despite being a very predictable card, unfortunately, you were the only one that missed one out of those three that predicted last week.
Of course, because I was trying to go for Randy. Of course, trying to get my agenda will come true. Damn it.
Well, I tried to put some logic there for you, but
you know what's funny? And we're talking about it more. So I'm part of this group called the Pepsi Plungers, and it's my friend Deb, who I actually met. Someone was putting who is this, post on this wrestling chat on X. And then I would go into there, and then Deb would he would send my things back like 3 or 4 days later, and put a little, but not only just like when I ask questions, he would put a lot of thought into the answers, and I just always appreciated that. And it would just show me before, because of course now my pages all become about food, because that's what everybody wants to just think about dying young of heart failure. But it was just like I just respected his fandom, and so anyways, he started a group. And so for every show we do predictions, and I won, and I still picked Randy, but I still won because we picked on who we thought was going to enter the chamber, right? So I was pretty much spot on with that. Besides picking Randy as my winner, that was the only one. But I won the contest, and so whoever wins the contest, whoever wins the pay-per-view gets to pick the group profile pick. So I did the picture of Randy and John Cena smoking cigars. But I guess it's one that was created on AI. But so I won that one. So but even going with Randy, I still won just because we actually predicted the order of the chamber participants too and stuff like that. So
well, that's pretty
I'll take
awesome.
my victory lap there.
Well, yeah, take it while you can. Do you get a trophy too, or just a participation sticker?
I mean, it's just for fun, I mean, we had like a little fake trophy thing, but it's just bragging rights and so. And I'm the only one. I'm the first person who's won twice this year so far, so that's kind of cool too.
Well, see, there you go. Keep it up. Keep that streak.
And it's fun. It should be, and that's the thing. I was having fun with them. We were in the group messages the whole time during the show, and that made it fun.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about with being a wrestling fan. Let me put it this way. A true wrestling fan is just trying to make fun out of everything. Don't be like a typical IWC troll, that thinks you're a know-it-all and has to ruin it for everyone. Just have fun with it.
Yeah, just have fun with it, and then that's the thing for me, again, it was just for me, it was like I said, I was fun to watch it live, but again, just dragging ass and feeling tired, not going to the gym and not doing some things I wanted to get done yesterday. To me, it wasn't worth it in the end. So, next time it's done, I wouldn't stay up to watch a show that was predictable. But at the same time, it was good for storyline reasons. But at the same time, it's just interesting to see where they're going to go from here, I guess.
Indeed. And I kind of sympathize for you too, because you're getting over COVID and all that, so it's still going to have its little bit of effects on you for a bit. But the good news though is you're on the winning side of it now, so hopefully you'll be 100% here very
Yeah, that's just this
shortly.
thing too. Like before I got COVID, I was going to the gym. I was working out 6 days a week, eating good and stuff like that. And so it's just one of those things where your body needs to recover, and it's just anytime. I mean, anytime. I mean, if you start going to the gym too, you're gonna get sick during that because people just aren't considerate. Even though I wipe down equipment when I use it, there's still just germs in there. We can only do the best we can. Like I'm the only person that wears a mask to work still, but I think I helped somebody who's a coworker's boyfriend who had it. They didn't realize that I didn't have a mask on yet. But at the same time, who knows? I can't just pin it to him. But if it was me, we still have plastic shields at work, but they took them down. But again, people just aren't considerate of others these days, so it's going to happen. We can only do the best we can, as a society and go forward. But it just sucks when you're in a rhythm because you kind of like you're starting all over again. So having to build my cardio back up and stuff like that, and just getting more disciplined again too. But it is what it is. It's not like I haven't done it before.
Yeah, it is. I've only battled it once, thank the Lord. I've been very blessed that way, but this has been your second go around, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And so then I live with my aunt, and my grandma, and they both got it too. And that's the part that kills me.
Yeah.
But we can only do the best we can. But at the same time, it's just, and that's the thing too. I don't think people realize now too. It's the symptoms are just that of a cold. And so I feel like like for most people, so I feel like a lot of people don't really even give themselves COVID test anymore. And again, to each their own. I feel like us as a society, we should just try to do better for each other. But it's like I feel like a lot of people because again, you don't know how it's going to hit somebody else. So if you're contagious, try to follow those. But I just think that's the problem now is that the symptoms are almost like that of a flu now, and so people don't test themselves anymore when they should be. Because you never know how it's going to affect other people.
Exactly. Ah, unfortunately, it's never going to go away. But the best thing everybody can do is, just practice your proper hygiene and be very considerate of others. Don't judge if they're wearing masks. Don't judge if they're not wearing masks, but just be very
Yeah, it's like who
considerate.
cares? Like exactly, like it's like that's the thing. Like a master doing his job. Like there's a customer that comes in all the time. Like, what do you like? Why am I about to go? Like, why do you fucking care about to go out next time? I'm always polite, but like, does it bother you? Like, am I asking you to wear one? Am I refusing you for help? Am I refusing to help you because you're not wearing one? Like, shut the fuck up. How about that?
Oh, wow. How do you really feel?
I
Just
just
kidding.
people like it's like I mean, again, we're both heavily on a platform that is, again, people are highly opinionated, but it's like no one asked you. And even for you, like now you got to the trolls. Like I commend you because I'm like it's just a never-ending battle. But it's just like you can choose not to say shit. Just shut the fuck up. God, you don't got to give your opinion every time. You can choose not to say anything too. Shit.
I plead the fifth on doing that. So
I know, not you. No, you would never
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Not
Oh,
you.
I just got to the point like, okay, you know what? It's just time to fire back. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. So, um,
I mean, you
but
always make me laugh, so I mean, thank you for that. I always get a good
well,
chuckle out of it.
that's what I do is I kind of play my kayfabe heel with some of those answers, and it's just like, oh my god, some people just you really need to get a life. But
I know
anyhow,
that's the people too. Like tell me like, oh, you did this. I'm like, I go because I know you're gonna troll too, and like go again. As much as I don't like it, trolls are impressions too. Like have fun with it, but I'm not going to engage with you because I'm not going to waste 30 minutes of my day for nothing.
well,
Like that's the thing people don't realize. You're not going to. Where people are very, and again, we're in a society where I feel like it's just okay to be even more opinionated. So you're gonna have a hard time changing somebody's mind. So it's better just to state your piece and move on and not engage anymore because it's like it's not gonna solve anything.
no, it really isn't. I mean, that's the thing is everybody has their opinions, their views, blah blah blah. I mean, it's okay to have different views, but just don't be an asshole about it. That's where I think a lot of people like to be is be an asshole. So screw them. Don't care. I'll fire back once in a while. What the hell? I might as well kill some time. Um, you
John's on the
know,
toilet, waiting to take a dump. So that's what he So
well,
if you see John engaging in trolls, he's probably in the bathroom, folks. Just some more, the more you know.
That or it's because I have a book in front of my face and I actually have to read something, so I have to take a break from drawing my eyes out. So, but anyways, yeah. Why don't we get back onto the wrestling track here? I know we mentioned about the this PLE being a very predictable one. It obviously where we pretty much got almost everything right. Why don't we break it down just a little bit? We start off with the women's elimination chamber, and I think it was pretty much going to be a safe call that if you said Becky Lynch, you knew that was already where it was heading. We're going to have Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for the WWE Women's World Championship. However, the one thing I do want to bring up is many people go, well, this was so predictable. This was not the right call. I can't believe they're doing this with Becky going to the face Rhea Ripley, but everybody's making it sound like it's an automatic win for Becky, that's how they're going to book it. And I don't think that's necessarily true. They could still have a good match, but that does not ever necessarily mean the winner of the Elimination Chamber or Royal Rumble is going to win that championship. Um, do you think it was a good move to put Becky as the winner and challenging Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania?
So to answer your question, and again, and with your question too, like this is like when it like for example, like I'm gonna talk about like a John Moxley really quick. Like John Moxley, I feel like is like a Becky Lynch where he's not a selfish performer, and like right now you have him over there being like in tag team matches and trios matches and just and and fighting like just doing whatever is asked of the company, and that's what Becky Lynch has been doing for the last 2 years. Like she put up her Bianca Belair, she was wrestling, she's been in kind of just these holding pattern storylines, wrestling with Trish and them, being tag team champions, trying to get that over, just doing what, she was the NXT champion. She put over NXT talent. She gave the rub to Lia Valkyria. Like wrestling fans need to quit being so short sighted and realize that you have somebody who, and again, she was mega over, was asked to be a heel by Vince McMahon, did that, even though the fans didn't want her to be. Then she had to work again to get uber over like she was before, and she's back there again. So it's like we need sometimes as wrestling fans, we need to look at we need to look at all their work, and you need to appreciate somebody like Becky who, and again, and that's what people need to realize too. It's not always been about the talent, but a lot of it's just Vince's bookie. Like a perfect example is like a Charlotte Flair, where people get mad at her, because it's like she always has to be in the title picture. And for me, that's the one thing I'm really sad about her getting injured, because I was looking forward to Charlotte actually being in a program that wasn't revolved around the title this year, because I totally feel like she was supposed to fight Bianca this year at WrestleMania. So I was just looking forward to see how she'd handle that. And anyways, back to Becky. I know I'm going on a lot of tangents here, but it's like she's been a company person. She's a team player. She's somebody who, if I was starting a promotion, I would want as like a top pick. And so it's like, as much as it might be predictable to fans, you got to look at how the fact that she's not somebody like a Charlotte Flair who has always been in the title picture. She does what she's asked. She was in NXT. She's been floating around. Like she deserves to be where she's at. And she's been letting other people like a Rhea Ripley get over, letting the people like a Liv Morgan, Raquel have chances. Like respect the fact that she's a team player and she deserves this opportunity and she deserves to be in the title picture, possibly main eventing WrestleMania. Like don't forget her book of work that she's done for this and how much she's given back to the wrestling community, and stuff like that. And I think that she deserves to be where she's at. I mean, it was the right call in my opinion.
One question I did want to ask you, because I thought she performed very well in her first ever Elimination Chamber match. I thought Tiffany Stratton did a really great job performing in that match. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I agree. And that's the thing. Like, for me, like that's the thing going to the chamber. I was excited because they were so hot for the press conference, and then they were kind of lukewarm starting off. But just hearing those fans, and that's the thing I love about international fans. They will root for a heel. So just seeing that those fans recognize her work. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like I know I made you a fan of Tiffany when I talked about the fact that she wanted to hang back a little bit and learn some more because she, was coming up and just she wanted to learn the business. She's a superstar. And this is what I was talking about it with my group chat. I think she's going to be this generation's this decade's Alexa Bliss, where she's somebody who you just don't see coming, and all of a sudden you're gonna like look back into years, and she's gonna have like 4 world title reigns because she's over, and she gets it. She's a good heel. She's a good antagonist. And it's like, and she's gonna be this decade's Alexa Bliss, somebody who you just didn't see coming out of nowhere, and she's gonna have like 4 world title reigns. I think she did a fabulous job. I love her.
Yeah, and I was not very high on her when she first came to NXT, but as time went on and she got better in the ring, like you mentioned before, she made that statement where she wanted to stay in NXT to work on her craft. That's one thing that will always make me go 180 on a talent, especially if I see at first they're not doing well. But she has definitely exceeded expectations as far as her skills and everything. So,
Go ahead, sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback on what you said too, like that's the thing you got to look at, because there's so many times where we see these talent in a big match and they shit the bed, and she didn't shit the bed. Like she handled it like a pro. I mean, she literally just got called up, and now she's in front of 50,000 people in a big match, and she killed it. So I mean, that's the kind. I mean, that just shows you like that they're right to see what they see in her. And again, like I'm proud of her for staying back, but she obviously knows how to handle it because she killed it. She did a fabulous job. She killed it.
And she did. I mean, but the one thing you notice when she was coming down the aisle, seeing a little bit of nervousness in her. I'm sure all the talent has that happen to them still. But yeah, she definitely shined in that chamber, and I give her the flowers. Definitely, I think she was most definitely the MVP of that match. So,
I have a question for you because I didn't like did watching that chamber make you want to see more women's matches at WrestleMania?
oh, I've been saying that for quite a while. I mean, like I said, for me, I don't think we need a tag team match necessarily to be the main event for night one. I think that should be Becky and Rhea, to be honest, because
But
to me,
like
that's
my question, like my question, like what I mean by that is I honestly want to see like 6 women's matches to get all together on the
oh
show.
yeah,
Like I wouldn't mind seeing it be half and half anymore. And I know it sucks for people because you want to see the guys get those WrestleMania moments. But for me, like there's this women's division is so much stronger, and I want to see them. I want to see them getting more. I want to see them getting more and more of the matches at big shows like WrestleMania because they deserve it.
well, that's where I was trying to go at with my
Okay,
point
sorry.
is, well, no, you're fine, because I can understand where that didn't come out right. I don't think we necessarily need Cody to wrestle twice. We don't need Roman to wrestle twice. We don't need Seth to wrestle twice. I mean, you can still tell a good story with that whole ordeal going on right now, but the fact that I'm gonna say it, it's obviously already looking like we're gonna have Seth and Cody taking on the Rock and Roman at night one as the main event. I don't feel that should be the main event. I think it should be Becky and Rhea. But also, these guys don't need to pull off double duty. Give some of those matches to the other talent that can still shine here. And some of that is a lot of that is the women talent. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't have more women's matches, especially as how everybody was criticizing AEW talent hoarding. WWE is almost getting to that point now again. And, fortunately, after WrestleMania, you're going to start to see the first block of the layoffs like usual. But no, I would definitely love to see more women's wrestling, especially on those big 4 events, especially WrestleMania.
I agree. That's the thing. Like for me, and that's it's like I'm giving them a buy for this year because again, because they got The Rock here. So if they need to do the tag team match, I'll be okay with that. But to piggyback off what you just said, like going off next year, I totally want to see like the women main event night one and the men main event night two. And again, like it should be to where the storyline goes. Because right now, I want to see Tiffany in a singles match at WrestleMania. I want to see Liv in a match at WrestleMania. I want to see Jade. I want to see Bianca. Like I want to see all these people get these matches, and they're matches that I want to see. And then again, and after seeing especially how they perform in the chamber, I have no problem with them getting a spotlight on WrestleMania.
Right. Well, we go on to the next match. It was the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. The Judgment Day retains over Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, which I can't remember. What's their tag team name?
Oh, I forget. It's something stupid.
New Catch Republic. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I'm just like,
Sounds like a clothing line.
I think you should have just kept it as Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. But
Or why couldn't they have just been the Brawling Brutes still? That's what I'm like understanding.
yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they just wanted to get rid of that faction and didn't want to keep it around. But yeah, to me, that really should be the Brawling Brutes or Brawling Brutes version 2, something. But I thought that tag team match did good. I wouldn't say it was like match of the night, but I thanks to your boy Dirty Dom costing Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne the tag team championships, we're going to see Judgment Day go to WrestleMania with those belts. And I think we all knew Judgment Day was going to retain, but I think they're going to look to put those belts on a different duo here shortly. The team of Miz and R-Truth is my prediction for where they're going. What's your thoughts?
I'm with you on that. I think for me, here's the thing that I want to see. If I was booking WrestleMania, I want to see either give me the introduction of some 6-man titles, or split or give both brands their own champions, because I feel like there's so many good tag teams in there and stuff like that. But to go off what you just said is something I want to talk about later on when we get to the main event part, or the men's elimination chamber. Is R-Truth is one of the best things going on in WWE today, and he's a happy accident, just like Sammy. Something that was to start off as a joke, and again for me, like the Judgment Day has been really poorly booked all year. Like they were kind of like just booked as the guys who go after Cody and his friends to get to Elimination Chamber. They haven't been built stagnant. Dominic Mysterio hasn't had a real feud since his father at WrestleMania, besides a 1 month quick blow off with Cody just to get them both on the card. But he's like one of the most over heels of the company. But yeah, he hasn't had a really big feud. Again, God bless R-Truth, because I don't know where Judgment Day would be right now if it wasn't for him. But to go off what you said, I definitely think he deserves to get rewarded. Miz is actually over as a face, which shocks the hell out of me, because well, no, I'm Team Miz. So I think both those guys definitely deserve to be rewarded, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them take those titles off Judgment Day at WrestleMania, 100%.
The third match of the night was the men's elimination chamber, and I know this kind of breaks your heart. Randy Orton did not win, but it ended up being Drew McIntyre. I thought that match was actually a pretty decent match for the most part. I think Bobby Lashley kind of oversold the elbow injury a little too much. Logan Paul, I thought, did a fantastic job, especially bringing in, which I think was fake brass knucks, but I couldn't tell for sure. AJ Styles coming in, costing LA Knight his I guess you can say his shot of trying to win the Elimination Chamber. It's pretty obvious we're going to see AJ Styles and LA Knight at WrestleMania. I think we're going to end up seeing the Viper Randy Orton probably challenge Logan Paul for the United States Championship. Obviously, Drew is going to be facing Seth Rollins, but where does that now leave Bobby Lashley?
That's why, to me, like if you're gonna keep these factions together, that's why I think they should introduce 6-man championships into the WWE.
Well, okay, so I know it's going to be talking about another brand, but do you think WWE can keep those championships? I guess the bad thing I'm going to say is AEW has been having a hard time with their trios division. I think a lot
sucks.
of that.
And how much I love the Acclaim. It fucking sucks.
Yeah,
It sucks.
yeah.
It sucks.
Do you think WWE can keep the fan base interested in a 6-man championship division?
I do, and my biggest thing for that too is I do think they could, but for me it also it gives them a reason to keep factions together, because I feel like that's the thing with WWE is before it's like you have all these different factions right now, right? So again, to me, like having 6-man championships gives them a reason to keep factions together, because I feel like if you don't have the 6-man titles, then you're gonna be like, well, we need to break these guys up, right? Because this guy needs to go be a single star, this person needs to go be a tag champion, and this person needs. So it's like, but the giving having 6-man championships gives groups like the Pride and Karrion Cross, Imperium. You could put New Day with Jey Uso. There's just so many different. There's you could bring up Chase University. You could have go throughout different brands. It gives them a reason to have these different factions stay together, and it also gives you and then you could put AJ Styles back with Anderson and Gallows. It gives them a reason. It gives them a reason to keep these factions together. And it gives them something to fight for. Because right now it just kind of feels like all these factions are getting lost in the shuffle. And I feel like having the championship gives them something to fight for. So I definitely think they could do it, and it could be done really well. You could even put Dexter Lumis back with the DIY. There's so many. Or Judgment Day. Is a perfect example. Those guys could defend them. And do it as the Freebird rules. I think that they could handle it. It's just, but and again, when you have a 3-hour show like Raw, there's a lot of fill in there. I totally think they could, and I think it'd be a good almost something like a good thing to keep them in line to make sure that they're keeping all these factions going. So yes, I do think they could book them properly.
All right. Now with Seth Rollins now going to be defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew, do you possibly see Drew taking this championship off, or do you think maybe Damian Priest is going to cash in? What's your thoughts?
So I'll give you the thoughts on this. I want to backtrack a little bit about the other stuff in the chamber real quick. What do you want to do first? Want to discuss this or the chamber stuff first?
No, it doesn't matter. Why don't you go ahead?
So to answer your question, like going off of watching the chamber, like I because again for me, like having Drew, like again talking about the whole R-Truth thing, he's doing really good character work right now, and so for me, I would have Drew win. Maybe you have Damian cash in on Drew, and that's how Drew becomes, and maybe that turns Drew a face, because that's the reason why I kind of was picking Randy to win, just because also I want Randy to become the 17-time world champion, and break both Ric Flair and John Cena's record, but also because I feel like when Cody beats Roman, because we're going to say Cody's going to beat Roman, we're not going to say if. When Cody beats Roman, you have CM Punk injured. That's two top faces that the Raw brand's going to be down. So that's why I thought Randy was going to win and go over to Raw. But maybe if Drew wins, then you have Damian cash in on Drew, and then that turns Drew back to a face. I wouldn't mind that either. But yeah, I'm definitely curious of how Triple H is going to handle this cash in. But I think Drew, if anything, I think Drew should win, and then you have Damian cash in on Drew instead of having Damian just go in there and cash in on Seth.
And this will pretty much continue the feud going on between Damian and Drew as well, because
correct.
I mean, it's pretty clear they don't like each other kayfabe wise, and I think this will definitely bring a lot more interest between the two storyline.
Yeah, like and again, you have the fans behind Drew right now. He's getting with his character work. You could just turn him into that smart ass babyface too. It adds a new layer to his character. Then eventually when he gets done, then if you have Drew beat Damian back for the title, like you could even just give Damian a short run. I think having Gunther and Drew go after the world title, the fact that Drew can never get the IC title off of Gunther, that feud just writes itself too. So I think that'd be a good feud for the world title.
Yeah, it feels like there's somebody I missed in the Elimination Chamber trying to figure out.
So my question, I want to ask you this question about the Elimination Chamber. Do you think that we're ever going to see LA Knight win a singles championship in WWE? And this goes back to again for me, I feel like he's cooling off now, and I also just feel like we all thought he was going to go after Logan Paul for the U.S. title. Now it does look like that they're shifting to him versus AJ, and then it's going to be Logan Paul versus Randy for the U.S. title. So and that's what makes me happy too. Because again, if you remember, I was rooting for LA Knight to beat Roman and Saudi because I thought he was so over. So my question to you is: do you think we're ever going to see LA Knight win singles gold, or is he going to be a travesty of WWE collateral damage?
I think eventually he's going to have singles gold. When? I think it's going to be more toward the end of the year, if not at SummerSlam, hopefully by Survivor Series, because I mean it's really been a disappointment that I I shouldn't say it was a disappointment that he wasn't able to defeat Roman, but yeah, he could have sat there and defeated Logan Paul at some point. I know it'd be a little early to pull that championship off Paul right now, as far as him being hot right now is a big time heel for us. I am a little disappointed though. I think they should have had Logan Paul and LA Knight for WrestleMania. Who knows?
100%. And I don't like, and I feel like I don't, and again, I don't, but again, if they take the title off Logan between WrestleMania, and if LA Knight wins it, and it's LA Knight versus AJ for the US title, I'd be okay with that. But I don't want to see Randy going after the US title. I don't want to see this at all. I'm not happy with this. I don't like this. I don't like this pivot. And again, for me, it's just, I'm questioning Triple H's booking now because I feel like he's just doing a lot of the same shit that Vince used to do. And I don't know if this is a pivot now because of CM Punk getting injured, so that they want to have more big matches and not having Brock Lesnar. Like, oh, we got to put Randy versus Logan. That'll be a big box office. No, it should have just been Logan versus LA Knight. And I don't know what they could have done with Randy, but I'm not feeling these two matches at all. I am happy to see AJ get a match at WrestleMania because I do think he deserves it. But I'm not happy with I'm not happy with the direction these four men are going at all.
And there was something. Now I remembered who I was missing: Kevin Owens, because I was almost thinking maybe Kevin Owens was going to get maybe possibly another shot at the U.S. title. What now happens with Kevin Owens?
Well, that's my question. So I wouldn't. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they just throw them all in a ladder match for the U.S. title.
So how many participants would you have in this ladder match? The normal 5 or 6?
I would do those 5. I would do those 5 and then throw in Solo Sequoia too. Why not? Or maybe Dragon Lee.
What are they doing with Dragon Lee anyways? Because now I'm really confused. I mean, we saw.
I am too. I feel like that's the thing where, like, so here's the thing. Like, that's the thing. Like with SmackDown in general, like I appreciate these longer matches, but at the same time, like give me like 6 matches a week where there's shorter. Give me like 1 long matches and shorter matches because I feel like okay, like now like all these guys are getting lost in the shuffle because they only have so many matches for these shows, and it's like. And so, like, they had all this stuff for Elimination Chamber. So, like, so now we didn't get Dragon Lee. We haven't seen the LWO on TV. It's like we're Santos, Bam, like all these guys who had a lot of good momentum are getting lost in the shuffle again, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I mean, it's again. I think you're saturated with talent and you're not using them right. And this is where they need to figure something out and figure it very fast because you're going to just end up with the AEW curse if you keep going that route.
And that's what and for me it's like so that's what I say like just have some shorter matches or just and just get these guys on more because they need to because again they're it's that they were over with the crowd like even like I look at the Street Profits how over they used to be and then they were going to turn them heel but then they realized the fans wanted to cheer so now they're faces again but it's like the fact those guys have not been tag team champions in over 2 years is it's a crime against wrestling. Good lord.
So now
And
let's.
even for me too, I'm a big Logan Paul fan, but I cannot stand how he's being booked right now. Like he shouldn't be booked as a chicken shit heel. He needs to be the cocky heel who's really good at wrestling, who still beats guys. I can't stand the way he's being booked right now. I personally hate it.
So let's move on to the main event of that night, which I thought was actually Nia Jax's best performance of all time. Rhea Ripley successfully retains the WWE Women's World Championship against the Irresistible Force. I think that was pretty easy call right there, especially being in Rhea's being in Rhea's backyard there. It was very nice to see her get emotional and have that celebration moment with her family there at front row. And you can definitely tell she was very emotional right after the match. Her and Nia actually performed. I, I would have to say that was a 4.5 star match. What's your thoughts?
Oh, I thought it was a great match. You literally thought Nia was hurting Rhea. I mean, they didn't hold anything back. But yeah, I agree, 4.5 stars. And for me too, you're talking about predictability, but again, look at somebody who like Nia Jax, who you would have thought was an irresistible force, got released by Vince. She was shitted on for her botches, and again, maybe she did take things for granted, but she worked hard. She got herself in shape. She's losing weight. She's worked hard on her craft. She's put the time in. Like, even though it's predictable, like both these women deserve what that spotlight. Like Nia deserved to be going after world title. She's done a really good job. She's been excellent since she's been back. Rhea has been on the back burner a lot of times because she was just being used as a manager for Judgment Day to get them over. Like sometimes things are.
And we
It was
temporarily lost.
amazing. It was over. The fans were into it. Like that's everything you want to see for the women's wrestling division. And again, like you got to take up these opportunities to let the women shine. And I think they both absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark.
Overall, if you were to rate it on a 5 star basis, what would you rate this premium live event?
Honestly, like a 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's kind of a little harsh, but
No, I give it a 3.5. I mean, because the thing is, this is the thing that I think we need to realize as fans sometimes. This wasn't about us. It was about Australia, and that's the thing that I'm realizing as a fan. Like I don't like everything doesn't need to be in the United States. Like WWE is a global brand. Um,
and we have temporarily lost Carlos again.
huh?
For me, or there you are.
Oh,
You keep cutting in and out on us.
I'd say a 4 out of 5. I think, like I said, it was a good show. Like it was predictable, but it served its purpose. My one thing that I didn't like is I don't feel like the Cody Rhodes segment was necessary at all. That was dumb. Um, but at the same time, it's just about getting those guys in front of the crowd too. So I get it. Um, a 4 out of 5, I guess. It served its purpose.
um, yeah, and that was my initial rating. I thought it was a 4 out of 5. I think the only thing that hurt it was the Grayson Waller effect.
Oh, it was, awful.
Obviously, we knew why it was there. It's in his backyard as well. Um, but yeah, I think that was one segment we probably could have just done away with.
But it just didn't
And
make any sense either. Like, are they going to actually are they going to turn Grayson Waller a face? I mean, this it didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Like
yeah,
the whole
it
segment was just off to me.
made no sense.
Not so none whatsoever. It was because it wasn't even about Grayson Waller. It was about Austin Theory. The whole segment just it was a total. Oh, and again, I use Austin Theory as my picture today because again I was just quick, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Austin Theory get released within the next year from WWE. To be honest.
Ooh, I don't know. I think that's money you don't want to get rid of right there. I think give it a little more time and Austin
I
Theory.
mean, I wouldn't either, but I just feel like Triple H isn't a fan of his, and I feel like I don't know. I could feel like Triple H just being like, you need like I could see them wanting to do to him what they did to like Drew and to like Drew McIntyre. Like, go prove yourself and come back.
Well, yeah, but I think Austin Theory has proved himself. He's just under maybe somebody's not so good side, but who knows? Things may change here and there shortly. So, but
Yeah.
there was one match I forgot to ask before before we gave our ratings. There was a women's tag team championship match in the kickoff show. It was between the challengers Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus the Kabuki Warriors. Obviously, Kabuki Warriors retained. Uh, who do you think's next for the Kabuki Warriors coming to WrestleMania?
So first of all, I want to applaud them for adding this matchup because to me it tied up some loose ends for me. One was having Indy Hartwell fight in front of her home crowd, which is something I wanted to see, but also it tied up to me like why wouldn't you have the Kabuki Warriors try to qualify for again their top stars? Why wouldn't they want to be going after the women's title too opportunity? So it just tied up for me why they weren't involved in the chamber matches too. So I'm glad they added this match as an all around thing. For me, honestly, the thing that I want to see is I personally want to see Jade and Bianca as a tag team going after those championships.
Ooh, that would be an interesting one right there.
Because I think that it would just make sense for them. I think they talk about you learn a lot from watching somebody on the when you're sitting on the what is it called, the corner, so it's so I think it would help Jay learn a lot from her. You have them be the tag team champions, and then eventually Jay turns on her, and but for me, just having them start off as friends would make a lot of sense to me instead of being enemies. I think just having Jay touring with Bianca, defending those titles on house shows all the time, I just think that'd be a good way to break her in, and it'd be a safe way as a tag team unit instead of as a single star. I just think it's a better way to break her into the WWE thing. That's what I personally would do.
All right. So why don't we let's wrap it up with the Elimination Chamber. Obviously,
Naomi's booking so far because I totally think they're shitting the bed with her.
Okay, enough. We've gave our ratings on the Elimination
All right.
Chamber. For those of you who were able to watch live, that was pretty awesome. If not, yeah, I hope you slept in and waited till the replay came on, which I did.
Yes.
There's no way I could stay up that late to watch it, but anyhow, why don't we get into a fun matter this week? Even though I didn't watch it, I've seen thousands of posts on this. Collision had a good opening, but in the middle there, it kind of went sour. We had a really terrible spot with the sale of a Billy Gunn's Famouser. I know you wanted to kind of touch base on these types of botches here. Go ahead and let her rip.
Well, honestly, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with it. I didn't catch. I mean, and again, this is because again, we're pretty strong on X, and so for me, when I'm watching something like a collision, that's honestly how when I'm watching it, I always have my phone in my hand, and for me, it's one of those things where it's like if it doesn't get my attention away from my phone, I'm gonna probably be on my phone most of the time. So I didn't even catch this until the end, until I saw it again on social media. Because I just was like, oh, this match. I was in between my phone and watching this match. For me, with my thing that I would love to see with AEW right now is, and again, for me, I'm questioning things. If I'm Tony Khan, I would be like, do you want to be here or not? Because to me, I'm okay. Again, I'm not gonna sit here. I don't hate watch wrestling. Like I said, if a match catches my eye, I'm gonna be off my phone. If not, I'm gonna be on my phone because I'm gonna have it playing in the background. I'm not going to sit there and grill these guys, but to me, there's a lot of talent in AEW. The thing that I would like to see in the future is just do you want to be here or not? Because if you want to be here, you need to do a better job of selling. And again, if it was a thing of bad positioning, then just roll out of the ring. But to me, it just wasn't done very well. And again, and at the same time, I don't get into watching for botches for myself because to me, it's just. I couldn't do what they do, so again, I respect the art of pro wrestling. So I'm not going to sit here and criticize these guys. Again, it's a mix of dance and art and athleticism. So again, please don't hate watch wrestling just looking for botches. Give these guys a break. Nothing's gonna be perfect, but at the same time, if these guys are gonna botch like that, then give that opportunity to somebody else who deserves to be on TV. Let the dark give it to the Dark Order and let these guys prove that they deserve that precious TV time. And that's pretty much where I land my plane on this. Is TV time is precious. If they're gonna go out there and make the company look bad, then just don't give. Then I wouldn't give them another TV match for a while and just end it at that. Period.
Yeah. I have to say, I definitely did not. Um, I don't like pointing botches out, one, because I'm not a talent and I know they put in a lot of hard work. This was pretty obvious. You were either overselling or, like you mentioned, bad positioning. There's no reason why a famouser should have made your opponent hit the mat, bounce him up, and have him go over the top rope.
Well,
Like
and
you,
go
like
across
you,
like
like you.
halfway over, like not like we're not talking like either guys. If you haven't seen it, we're talking like half the length of the ring. It was like,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah. I mean, like you mentioned, that should have been easily known that you should roll either close to the rope or out of the ring. But yeah, there's no way you can tell me a famouser landed just right will make you bounce and go over the top. That just, yeah, it was a terrible sell. But like you mentioned, I don't think you should ever have anybody go on TV and be that sloppy. Definitely give it to somebody who wants that TV time and is willing to make others look good, but also make themselves look good as well. And it just kind of looked like it was pretty much done by some clowns, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and again, they are a comedy. They joke and they eat pre-workout. They pour it in their mouths, and I like the Iron Savages. But the same, but it was just, but you cannot do stuff like that. Because even like there was a lot of miscues in the tag team match. Between FTR and Shane Taylor Promotions too. And again, I'm not gonna get caught up in it, but for me, it's like just look at it as again like I'm sure, like again, why I'm sure if Dark Order or the Butcher and Blade would love to have that spot. So again, I would just not hop on it too much, but again, like let these guys earn that television time because it is a precious commodity. There's a lot of other talent that could easily be given those spots instead of these guys that if they're gonna go in there and botch and they're not gonna do the right thing. Instead of harping on it, and let's let other talent see if they can go and rise to the occasion.
Exactly. Well, did you have any final thoughts on this week's programming or PLE event? Oh, actually, real quick, now that I just thought about it, did you watch TNA's Hard to Kill pay-per-view?
I did, yes.
Well, why don't we get your thoughts on that before we start coming to our shout outs and wrap up here?
Um, again, for me, like again, if you're not watching TNA, watch it. Ali is the new champion there. They do a really good job of utilizing their talent, and so again, like I'm gonna like again, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm gonna go hire Scott Demore, and I'm gonna give him Collision because it's like they just do a good job of rotating their talent. Everybody gets over. They utilize their resources really, really well. And I just think that TNA deserves more of a shine. They can just bring people in and make them seem like a big deal. I mean, it's a fun show. I mean, I had a really good time enjoying it. Again, there's ways that you can watch this for free, but at the same time, if you do take advantage of those things, then give your money to them by buying a shirt. Please support TNA. Support independent wrestling. How was to go off of that? How was the show that you went to on Friday night?
You mean Friday night?
What show you went to independent wrestling show, didn't you?
Oh, that was last night actually. It was really good. Sarah and I went to it. First time we ever went to a Utah independent promotion, and it was a lot better than what we thought. However, I watched some people actually leave like just before midway of the show because, and here's the thing a lot of wrestling fans need to know. When you go to an independent show, you can't expect it to be WWE quality or, TNA quality, AEW quality. Independents are they don't have that perfection feel, and they're not supposed to, but that's where a lot of your talent starts in the business is in the independents. But Devotion Championship Wrestling here in Utah, they do a pretty good job. We actually got to looking through their Facebook and through their archives from other events they've held here in Utah, and I think we're going to start attending more and more. I believe we got one other promotion here in Utah. It's also called Dive Wrestling, if I remember right. I know one of them I think is somehow associated with Al Snow's promotions. So, and actually, Sarah, my wife, is commenting. She was impressed with their mic skills at the event. I thought they did a fairly great job, like I mentioned earlier. They just need more love, give the love out to all these other promotions, because if these promotions aren't up and running, we're not going to be seeing future stars here, especially in WWE, AEW, and TNA.
And I wanted to shout out too because I think QT Marshall's gonna be there next time, right?
Yes, QT Marshall is actually going to be at the Salt Lake show here on March 9th. So anybody that's a fan of QT Marshall, definitely go check them out. I believe their Twitter is at DCW. Now I gotta look it up.
Oh,
If you go look for Devotion Wrestling in Salt Lake City, Utah. In fact, here it is. Their Twitter handle is at DCW Salt Lake City. You can go see their Twitter page there with upcoming events. They also have a Facebook page. If you go check them out there, you can see all the events that will lead up. And every once in a while, we'll get some surprise guests. I know in the past they've had Ethan Carter III when he was currently the NW. I think he's still currently the
he's the
NWA.
NWA champion, and he's also he's the Ohio Valley Wrestling champion as well.
Oh, see, there you go. So, they definitely get their star power. In fact, if for those of you who know Zoe Stark or Otis from Alpha Academy, they also came from Utah promotion, but unfortunately that promotion doesn't exist anymore. They folded. So that's why we have such a liking to those two talents in particular every time they show up.
But I think the thing that's important to you guys is, and again, because the reason I wanted to hear John talk about this is because, again, a lot of these independent shows, the great thing about AEW is that they will let guys like a QT Marshall, like a Ethan Page, they let all these guys do these independent shows. So again, like if you're frustrated with how they're being booked on television, like, and if these guys care enough about their art and care enough about to go support these independent shows and give back and go wrestle, again, these guys could just be sitting on their ass not doing this stuff, but they do it because they love the business. Like, go support these independent wrestling shows, please. And again, you might be getting to see the future stars of tomorrow. Like Sarah, you said, like a Downhausen, and even like that, it's like, again, getting some of these guys getting to go. Ortiz is the current. Santana is the current champion of Hog Wrestling. And again, there's somebody who Tony Khan's not utilizing them on TV. Like, you get to, and again, if you watch Hog Wrestling, like they actually even put it on YouTube. Like, all these guys that you're currently not being able to see on AEW television, or you miss maybe in WWE as well, like, they're out doing these other promotions. So again, maybe one week you just catch the highlights of AEW or Raw and go on YouTube and support these other guys because they deserve our love and support. Like it's the wrestling business is very strong right now, and let's keep it that way.
Most definitely. We're about hitting that time here where we're going to wrap it up. Carlos, do you want to give any shout outs out there?
Did you lose me or what?
Yeah. Are you there now?
I'm here now. Just a quick shout out to the Stitch Up Network, to my different wrestling groups I'm in. Like I said, the Pepsi Plungers, Rest in Peace Bozo, and also all the people who I interact with on X every day who make wrestling fun for me. And again, sometimes they're AEW stands, but again, I just go in and have fun with this. Thank you all for making wrestling fun for me.
And I'm going to give a few shout outs to the different podcast buddies we have out there. Fan in the Van, Is This a Bad Take? Two Dudes Sports News, the Steel and Teal Talk, Brutally Honest. I really can't talk today. Brutally Honest Sports, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, Visit Vegas Places with Coyle, Chris and Deb with Today We Laughed and Learned, BC Hunter, who's making a comeback with Wrestling with the Truth Pod, but also go visit his YouTube channel, Wrestling with the 80s. And I think that's going to do it for us this week.
A quick shout out. I think if everything goes to plan, I should be on an upcoming episode of We Laugh and We Learn.
Sorry, say that again. I can't.
I'm supposed to be out doing an upcoming episode of We Laugh and We Learn with Deb.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely let me know when that releases. So also want to give a special shout out to Kevin, who's one of our big time listeners there. He lives here in Utah. He used to be out there in Libby, Montana. We caught him briefly there at the SmackDown event here in Salt Lake City not too long ago. So big shout out to that guy. Big shout out to my wife, Sarah, who keeps tuning in and listening to us. She keeps adding us from our 2 listeners to 3. So thank you, Sarah. And without a doubt, we are going to be back again this Wednesday, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Our normal time, 15 minutes after AEW Dynamite goes off air. You are doing it Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Guess I should have asked that part before I assumed. So, yeah, come check us out on the X Space there Wednesday night. We'll be talking a little more as the road's heading toward AEW Revolution and a little bit of what's happened on Raw and NXT. So stay tuned. Follow us there on that X app. You can find me, John, at wfincitepod. Carlos?
At C to the LOS 77. Also at Conquer the No. And then also on Instagram at Rainbow Goodness _.
And you can also follow me on TikTok, even though I'm not on it as much. I go by at John WF Insight. And that's going to wrap it up for us this week. Please be kind to each other. And remember, who's better than you? Nobody.